America's held hostage, now behind enemy lines, and the timetable is coming fast. That's right, as we are now fast approaching America's last weekend in Afghanistan. 13 of our brave soldiers are dead. They will never return home to their families. More than a dozen others seriously wounded. A total death toll is now more than 170. Over 200 people injured. This is now thousands of our own citizens, our friends, our American family, and yes, American allies remain trapped all across the country, all of them behind enemy lines, all of them hostage to the whim of the terror group known as the Taliban and others. And now it's harder than ever to even get inside Hamid Karzai International Airport, with reports that the Taliban could be in full control of that airport now in a matter of days. Some are predicting as early as this weekend. Maybe the worst part is the death and destruction and carnage and chaos, all easily preventable, so easily preventable. Joe Biden is defiantly locked into his disastrous decision that has rendered us a failure here. Why he has tripled down on this failure is anyone's guess. Why he's abiding by the Taliban's deadline, also a mystery tonight. Why he's not sending in additional troops to rescue every single solitary American behind enemy lines is unforgivable. Why he's so accepting of the idea that Americans will be left behind is beyond anything that any good American that I know of can comprehend. And sadly tonight, that outcome seems inevitable. This was not an intelligence community failure. Joe Biden ignored what are dozens and dozens of warnings on the ground, and they've been given to him now for months, our sources confirming. He ignored his own military advisors. That, too, has been ongoing for months. He ignored the intel community. He ignored the Taliban's clear, you can see the map with the time frame, their rapid advance from April to June to July to August and everywhere in between. And yesterday, well, what did we see? Incoherent, mumbling, bumbling, rambling press conference showing the entire world, America's friends and allies, and yeah, hostile regimes and our foes, our enemies alike, that the United States of America has a cognitively weak, frail, and completely out-of-touch president that is clinging to failed policies. This is beyond a national embarrassment. Innocent people will likely die as a result of all of this. More will die. So congratulations, Joe. This is your mission accomplished. Now at least 13 American families will never be the same. Many more brave servicemen will struggle with serious injuries for the rest of their lives, and more than 100 other innocent civilians have perished. But when you think things couldn't get worse, well, you think again. Because today, in a statement at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, earlier today, Jen Psaki warning that another terror attack in Kabul is likely. There will be another terror attack, and there's nothing that we apparently can do. This is a nightmare, a failure of epic proportions, the worst foreign policy disasters, one of in our nation's history, with deadly real-life consequences and risks that remain higher than ever. Remember, just last week, Biden said any attack on our forces or disruption of our operations at Karzai International Airport will be met with swift and forceful response. Well, now that swift and forceful response is nowhere to be found. Just like so many other Biden promises, those words appear to be totally, completely hollow, seemingly like what's in his head at most hours of the day.
When the president says, "We will hunt you down and make you pay," what does that look like? Is he going to order a mission to kill the people responsible, or would he be satisfied if they are captured and brought to trial?
I think he made clear yesterday that he does not want them to live on the earth anymore.
In other words, there is no plan of action other than a stern talking to. Even Obama's defense secretary, even former CIA director, he did both jobs, Leon Panetta, he rightly is calling for a swift military response. I don't agree with him politically, but he knows what he's talking about here. Of course, this morning, Joe Biden himself could not be bothered to answer any other questions about Afghanistan, especially after and in light of yesterday's disaster. Not even they told me to call on whoever being dictated by his staff. He doesn't want them to get mad at him. Obviously, they call the shots. Take a look.
I met with my commanders this morning, first thing in the morning, got a detailed briefing about yesterday's attacks and the measures they're taking to protect our forces and complete the mission. And we will complete the mission. Now, I'm not going to take any questions because of the Prime Minister being here on Afghanistan now, but I'll be available at another time.
I'm not going to take questions. I might get yelled at again. What will happen to Americans? Clearly now it seems inevitable. We will be leaving them behind. How will they ever get out? What are we doing to protect them? What will happen to Karzai International Airport in Kabul when we do pull out? What will Joe do if more Americans are murdered, like yesterday? What will he do if the Taliban murders an Afghan with one of our special immigrant visa? The ones we made a pledge to, if it ever came to this, we would get you the hell out of there. But we didn't keep our word to them. Many will die. And Joe gave them a list of names, so they now have a database, biometrics, and Joe's list. They're being hunted down as we speak. They will be executed one after another. How many Americans, we still don't get an answer, are still in Afghanistan? How many Americans have been evacuated? They don't know. How will he prevent the rise of ISIS or al-Qaeda with no embassy, no intel presence on the ground? You know, they were at war with us. We weren't at war with them. That 9/11 Commission report. Yeah, all the plotting and planning and scheming that took place inside of Afghanistan in the lead up to 9/11, 2001, 20 years ago. What will happen to the $83 billion that Joe Biden, the weapons that he left behind, the most powerful weaponry of any military force on the face of the earth, now he gave it to terrorists? And is there any plan to secure? It's a little too late because now we have images of Taliban flying our Black Hawk attack helicopters or riding around in our armored vehicles. 208 helicopters and aircraft he left behind. How does Biden plan to vet what is now tens of thousands of Afghan refugees? Because as we speak, there are so many refugees flying into Washington, D.C. Apparently, they're doing the vetting after people are in the air flying to this country. It's causing a massive bottleneck at Dulles International Airport. We need to know how these individuals are being vetted. Reports that already over 100 people that have come to America from Afghanistan are also on our terrorist watch lists. Clearly, there are a lot of important questions that need to be answered, and Joe Biden, his incoherent mumbling and bumbling and unwillingness and inability to answer them is chilling. Yesterday, during a bizarre, one of his bizarre moments at that press conference, Joe Biden was completely dazed and confused with an image that went viral. Take a look.
Terrorists attacked that we've been talking about and worried about, that the intelligence community has assessed, has undertaken an attack by a group known as ISIS-K. They gave me a list here. The first person I was instructed to call on was Kelly O'Donnell of NBC. Getting every single person out can't be guaranteed by anybody because there's a determination all who wants to get out as well. No, wait a minute. I'm asking you a question. Is that accurate, the best of your knowledge? What?
I don't think it's the issue. Do you think?
Because look at it this way, folks, and I have another meeting for real. I know it's not fair to ask you questions, it's rhetorical, but raise your hand if you think we should have gone.
This image of an American president, that's why I've been saying somebody so weak and frail and such a cognitive mess. America deserves better. We don't leave our fellow citizens, our fellow Americans behind. We rescue our fellow Americans trapped behind enemy lines. We respond to terror attacks with overwhelming force. We have the greatest military on the face of the earth. We strike fear into the hearts of all of our enemies and instill confidence in all of our allies. But under Biden, none of that has happened and clearly will happen. Made that clear yesterday. The one thing that was clear: no more military presence. We're getting out. We're sticking to the timetable. And yeah, there'll be Americans left behind in all likelihood. Now we're suffering the consequences of his real weaknesses in real time. Mark my words, with so many trapped, this could all get so much worse before it gets better, and I pray that I am wrong. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.